I get it. The prolonged exposure therapy is literally making these and then checking in with the time. It's 8:55 p.m., August 14th, 2024. And I have a security camera, and sometimes I unplug it. Sometimes I move it away. I don't like to be in front of camera. I don't like to be around certain people. My adrenaline goes up immediately. And now I understand the characteristics why. The best part is I am getting through the office finally, invigorating that touch as I also multitask. It is literally that emotional pop, reliving it. It could not have been recreated. The Chicago Police Department making the report for assault in June 2015. The person left May because I have the car insurance information. He was in my home for 2 years. So you don't have to say everything. I've said it all. I'm going to take out a couple pieces that were descriptive and just say no fear. And then I hear a voice say, you get out of here. What is that? What happened? My brain is coming to life and I can describe it. All right. If you hear poetry, just go with it, okay? I'm not afraid of you, but I do want to change policy. And that means, unfortunately, you have to say what happened. But to those people in the ER, you don't have to say anything, especially if the statute of limitation has run out. It's more important to stay safe. But why suicide has a purpose too. I don't care if I die. So let's see how this goes. Violence had a purpose, head assault had a purpose, marriage had a purpose, and divorce. And most importantly, I still believe in true love. Don't forget, it's out there. Go for it. So no, I think I'm good. I'm gonna go do my own thing. I'm excited. And like I said, I'm okay. You can look at me. I actually can see my face. I don't have anything in my body bubbling or anything, and there's no noise, there's no sound, there's no people, there's nothing. The first step was American politics. There's a lot. I look at some of the stuff I wrote. I have no idea what I'm saying. But now I want to sit and write. But that's the pre-writing. I look at some of the work my students have done, and I don't know what they say either, but they're trying. They hear the sounds. They write what they hear. That's what I did. I documented head trauma, violence, non-consent. It's the worst thing ever. So I talked about consent daily. So what do you think you're going to do? Use the thing they know about you so you stop questioning. The one thing they know about me. I talk about consent every day. I think consent is what you eat, what you drink, who you associate with, and then of course the other stuff. Come on. Think about it. You're not like a zombie, are you? That was the goal, because that is the prolonged exposure therapy that I was doing, because the words were concise and succinct. Ska, okay? Remember that sound. I'll be sharing how I got rid of all this trauma and all these triggers. Thanks, Ivy. Did I do a good job? I did a great job, Ivy says. Thank you, girl. And let's get started. Don't forget, I'm the girl that kept repeating it over and over and over again. And if that's what this is, seriously, that's it? That's what they want to do. Try to brainwash you. Okay, well, I think it's going to be really easy to get away from that. Just look for real love. No manipulation. Because he said it. I want to do it differently. And I said, oh, this is so refreshing. But I think that's the brainwashing. That's what they try to do. 3 times I've heard it. And please listen for the podcast, everything after today. This is the unifying theme, because I'm going to start taking notes about where to find this stuff. And I'm going to start creating stuff. Just like I caught what was inside and put it on the outside so that there's no confusion. Anxiety, sobriety, really? You're confused still? My God, what is this crap? That's why we can laugh about it, finally. So now the inside is still on the outside, but it's a lower endocrine system. And there's no noise, there's no abuse, there's no constant reminders, and it's different. So it'll reflect me being able to hold my thought, think a little bit, and think of the purpose of this, as well as, maybe a long shot. I think that's the word I was looking for. A friend of a friend of a friend who kind of understood what I was doing. Someone in Brooklyn said, you can talk to someone that's in the movie business. I said, really? Okay. Well, I don't need to know your bio. I don't need to know information about you. In fact, I don't want to know anything. Because if you trigger, which they ended up doing because they started complaining and talking about emotional crap, that's fine. But I thought the purpose of this was I was very clear. I had PTSD for real. And I just need to know a couple words to maybe understand how to put away something that I don't know how to do it. But hey, you're a friend of a friend of a friend. I'm just repeating the word friend. A friend will be there for you in the end. If they have boundaries, I said, and that's it. I know it's silly to say, but FaceTime is like video, right? I was traveling. And for the first time ever, I said, let's do a FaceTime in a country that I love so that it's secure. The video, it's safe. Anyway, people have asked me to download WhatsApp a ton as a way to stay in contact when you're abroad. I have some relatives that are from Europe, so they're the ones that are really persistent. I finally said, no, I don't really want that. I kind of want to travel and not have my phone on me. I'm just paying attention to the world around me. But I did end up downloading FaceTime. I did end up downloading WhatsApp at some point. I'm not sure what really exactly. Want to talk about that one. But I'm going to write the methodology. That is it. I said, all right, I don't need the WhatsApp. I didn't have the WhatsApp. The rules, I told you. This is WhatsApp at that point. A chance for you to get information about me. Sorry, I have PTSD. I used to call it the WhatsApp app. Just go with it and remember. He said, I wish I could give you one thing I know for sure. I remember WhatsApp. To take away the pain. That's it. as he's doing
easy
reiki,
now.
and my
Everything's so
body's
much
all
easier.
twisty and bouncy, and I'm like, he's like, wow, I can actually control this. And I said, yeah, my body's really sensitive. Let's begin. No. I'm practicing consent without the word no. I gained the word no at Nordstrom. Maybe because N-O and Nordstrom notes, I'm not losing notes. And tailoring. Oh my goodness, you want to feel like $1,000,000? Make sure it's tailored. I told him, you use my fucking account. That's it. I mean, this is seriously my entire relationship on replay. Goodness gracious. When it happens, it happens, and it happened. An emotional pop with the right individuals that remove all the trauma from, guess what, the Chicago Police Department. I'm not going to explain how or why. There's no need for that. If that story has to come out, it will. Believe me, it has been in my mind on rewind for a long time. Meaning, I will be able to, again, explain it. But why? That's self-regulation, self-control. And the biggest thing that happened is it is removed. The brainwashing, the treatment, and the thoughts and the stories that certain groups of people use about another certain groups of people. These stereotypes, but it comes from a really dark place that is kind of gross because you're now trying to get away from this narrative and justify things through, what social constructs exist and that people just accept without questioning. So I like to defy that stereotypes, and that's why I want to do it differently. Hotness, money, those things don't matter, and they shouldn't. It's the stuff on the inside, and that's why we're gonna now really press in because, like I said, I never thought I could be able to explain it. I tried to explain it to my best friend, and I think they understood exactly what I was saying. And from that moment on, they looked at me, and I remember thinking, what's that look that you have? And that's it. So I will tell you, no longer my best friend, that's for sure, because you gotta have your back. I'm gonna talk about friendship much later in this and in the future. But just so you know, this is all what it comes down to. Okay, the people you tell your secrets to, the people that hold on to the burden of your life, because I'm doing the same for you, right? Anyway, it's very interesting what people can do. I learned because for the first time I was different. I didn't have that ability to hold the mantras or hold the thought, gosh, well, something must be happening privately for them to be doing this, but geez, for them to be acting this way, they must be going through something big. Okay, well, I'm just going to be a better friend. I'm going to listen better. I'm going to give better advice. I'm really going to stay in the moment with them and try to help them through it. No, they're just lying. The stories people tell, the emotions they're trying to create, even though it's not, emotion is genuine, let's say, but the way they're getting there is not genuine. Or they're not lying, and this is a moment you are having a true friendship, connection, but then it's not reciprocated. And it's like, wait a minute, how many times have you? And these are then the stories that other people tell you, like, oh my God, now I'm listening to you and your friend's issue. Friends alliances, I saw this already. I saw a lot of stuff in high school, so I kind of felt like I got over all this a long time ago, and it all bubbled up again. Like, wait a minute, I wasn't expecting this to happen, but it did. I'm really happy it did. Hallelujah to violence. And in college is when I decided no more lunches. I don't want to meet you for lunch. I'm going to throw a house party. I'm going to invite all my friends, invite only. And that's how we're going to do this because I'm really busy. I babysat a ton. When I moved to Chicago, I had experience working in a restaurant. And yet I moved to Chicago. There's no way. I did it for a couple months and realized I decided to work with kids instead. It was better for my schedule. I could get homework done. And that's it. And there was also a voice in my head going on and on and on about kids. Oh my goodness. The use of kids. I didn't realize that, again, these voices were guiding me to my future. Again, the use of kids in these bachelor and bachelorette parties. It doesn't care how old you get. You are so dependent on this traditional way of thinking, and it just kept happening. So again, no thanks, avoidant, reject that. And that's why the compare and contrast is between what I learned in these families. I babysat a ton. That's when I discovered Lincoln Park. And in any social setting, instead of just focusing on the job or the kids, oh goodness, the other nannies talking, you see the parents behaving, and you realize, wow, money really doesn't buy happiness. Goodness gracious. 2020. Is it okay if I record this conversation?
Sure.
Thanks.
It's already being recorded.
Question, scheduling with Caitlin Wilson. I'm actually trying to find the year I had some appointments. So I have a bunch of Thursday dates, and they're all at 1:30, and it starts at 3:03. So 3:03 is the date I have started, and I'm counting it 10th, the 17th, 24th, but it looks like it's all Thursday at 1:30.
The 2020.
First Wednesday in October, 20. Why are you still talking about this? It's about providing for a child, correct? That's the ultimate, the most important thing. As long as there's a balance between the emotional as well, and that's the issue. Black Parks Foundation. Everyone wants to get lunch. The most dramatic, most severe, most ridiculous. I was pretty stupid, and I've said this to myself over and over, like, why do I say that? I don't say that. I don't allow my students to say it, so it's their words. I get to hear their words through my voice in my head over and over again until I figured it out, and I would not have gotten here without trusting my gut in every single way. And like I said, a true advocate is the advocate that tells you to your face in the moment when you need it, that first response. There's the bell to indicate a transitional moment. Those transitional words, first, then, next, second, finally. Can't remember anymore. And then transitions in the house and a transition in school. Please take out your yellow notebook. All right, everyone, line up for gym. And in your home, oh man, moving through. Yikes. I just took the worst and made it the best, but the worst is singing, and I'll tell you why later, or not. Just know it's all created by them, the abusers. I never thought I would ever be able to just get it out. So again, thank you, violence. We're happy. We're dinging, which means the dinger on my phone is on. That's a first. I did it last week as well, but then I turned it off for church instead of turning my entire phone off. It's just that little switch on the side is difficult. And when they say silent mode off, I have to think, does that mean it's on or off? Does that mean it rings or doesn't? It just takes time for me to understand it. And so it's better just to turn it off. Now it's silent mode. Oopsies. I turned it. Wait, what does it say? On. Off. Silent mode off. So that means it's on. I know, it's a little confusing. But that was the goal, because I said, if I want to be successful, I'm going to have to hear my phone ring. I do have notifications off. And please listen for that emotional pop. All right, this is yesterday. Goodbye.
All right, well, I got through this brainwashing. I didn't know it was going to bubble up, but I had this dream. All right, we're going to listen to the noise first. Then we're going to listen to a conversation I had with a friend, Pickles, who lives in Philadelphia. The city of brotherly love.
All I know is when little kids show us what we have inside, if we don't check it out and deal with it, it's very scary. They hurt themselves and they get sick of hurting themselves. They want to hurt others. They're getting some sort of sensation. So I'm going to share what I observed with people that are hurting and the people that hurt themselves, and then they are sick of it and they have to hurt others in these shame and guilt cycles. And then I'm explains about, and I'm also going to share some people that, yikes, they get hurt or they think they got hurt. And it's really just bullying and constantly feeling a certain way, unwanted, unloved. No one lets me speak. I ruin everything. And it's the insiders, the people that you would think wouldn't be doing the most harm, do the most harm. Like I said, these emotions, you got to get them under control. So finally, my emotions are under control. I'm purposely kind of talking slowly. Whew, I feel calm. I don't hear any noise. It's kind of wild. I kind of giggle. I giggle to myself sometimes. I'm smiling all day. But when I tell this story, I don't know if that's going to go away. So just be patient. The inside is now on the outside. It's really that simple. So here we go. Okay, so the recordings in here are kind of interesting to me. I had this dream about police officers. It was the most bizarre thing ever, and I described it, and I'm going to share it soon. But first, let's listen to this one. When you have suicide, oh my God, this is the most dangerous condition ever. No one gets to rescue me. All right, so here we go. This was all the time I spoke to get this out.
On my level, eye to eye,
hands on my shoulders, butthead. Instead of
you
telling me all the
conditions and the rules.
rules,
and
I'm
what
an
I'm supposed to
idiot. I accept it.
do in order to survive.
Because the officer said,
I would know enough.
The officer said,
from never having comfort in my body again. That's what's bubbling up at
the
night.
officer said.
He's not gonna kill you, you're safe. Something truly happened in this dream. I know, is when little kids show us what we have inside. If we don't check it out and deal with it, they hurt themselves and they get sick of hurting themselves. They want to hurt others. They're getting some sort of sensation. So I'm gonna share what I observed with people that are hurting and the people that hurt themselves, and then they are sick of it and they have to hurt others in these shame and guilt cycles. It comes out. Okay, so the recordings in here are kind of interesting to me. I had this dream about police officers. It was the most bizarre thing ever, and I described it, and I'm going to share it soon. But first, let's listen to this one. Oh, right. What happens next? What happens next? So again, my voice. If no one's going to ask me, or the people that are asking me is making my body pop, then no thanks. I do not want to establish any sort of, tit for tat, because that gratitude, everything popped up, and I was so grateful for just the tiniest little dangers. Because people, when you give people someone who's vulnerable at risk, then yeah, it's dangerous. I mean, I started out in charity thinking there's no way. They were the first one to show me this thinking, and now I can apply it to everything else. And like I said, it's like not there anymore. All right, so here we go. This was all the time I spoke to get this out.
on my level, eye to eye,
hands on my shoulders,
butthead.
Instead of
you
telling me all the
conditions and the
You
rules
I'm
and what
an
I'm supposed to
idiot.
do in order to survive.
Because the officer said, he's not going to kill you, you're safe. And I get it. Oh, W for win, because I'm in dream. I know, is when little kids show us what we have inside. If we don't check it out and deal with with it. It's very scary. They hurt themselves and they get sick of hurting themselves. They want to hurt others. They're getting some sort of sensation.
Stay alive.
So I'm going to share what I
Fuck
observed.
yeah, I'm gonna stay alive.
Perhaps I'll start to scream. But you know what? If this is living in the moment, out comes out.
Realmente lo aprecio. No tengo números anotados. Mi cuerpo está en llamas, pero estoy subiendo las colinas. Como la campiña inglesa. ¿Cómo estás tú?
I had this dream, and I'm trying to remember it because it's fading already, except the voice is there. I'm walking down a street. I have this fear of going down this street, and I test myself every day, and then especially on Wednesday. The fear is real, so I always try to walk down there on Wednesday. The fear is of this person who said, I'm going to kill you. If you tell the police, I'm going to kill you. And the police are in front of me. There's 4 of them, just like the 4 that were in my house when I called 911 for the first time. And when I called 911 for the first time, they showed up and I told them what happened. My adrenaline was off the chart. I could tell because I was talking fast. And at one point they said, this is a matter for the FBI. I'm like, what? Because of the use of technology? So they left. And I don't know what that feeling was, but wow. Roar! Ivy, that's your meow. Really? Now you're not gonna meow? Okay, anyway. Roar! And that's in a video somewhere. I'm gonna find it. It was the first time I roared. It was the first time I felt this feeling, and all I could think was end PTSD. End this PTSD crap, this diagnosis. In 2015, when something could have been done. My adrenaline was off the chart. I could tell because I was talking fast. And at one point they said, this is a matter for the FBI. I'm like, what? Because of the use of technology. Trying and find out from the detective. The police officers don't know. Even the advocate who said, I've been in this office for 20 some years, didn't know the statute of limitation. And that's why he's talked to me for that long. He stopped after 3 years. They have knowledge. And who was the only person who needed to know? Because in year 3, see a theme going on here? The question was, my family wants to know why we're not getting married. And I'm like, well, we talked about it. And I kind of started giving him a roadmap, not because I particularly wanted to get married, but at this point, there was something that was happening. The words, he never got the girl. I'm walking the annual Christmas photos. So we had to take a lot of photos. And I'm trying to explain the fear of going down this street. And I test myself. And the repetition of, we'll have a wedding in Michigan. We'll have a wedding in Michigan. We'll have a wedding in Michigan. I'm delaying it because, well, they never had a wedding in Michigan. Up. The officers are in front of me. But they have their wedding. And the repetition is the issue. They are asking me a question. What's going on? What are you doing out here? And the fear is, I believe that my body will finally let it go and believe. That's it. It's super stubborn. It doesn't believe it's safe. It doesn't believe it's not gonna die by my hands of another person. And I'm going to articulate it with my voice so I know I'm not going to not deny what it feels. Why are you in front of me? I'm trying to focus on who to look at because there's 4 of them. But the one in front kind of takes the lead. And I start explaining about my fear and what I'm trying to do to dampen it, just like how I would cross the river when going to the union, the teacher union. First at the merchandise mart that wasn't to cross the river, and then at 111 Wacker Drive, crossing the river, and that anticipation and dread. He knew I couldn't swim. He was very clear how he was going to kill me. 2 ways, and then kill the cat. The fear is rising. It's coming out of me. I don't know if you guys are going to hear it. Actually, I feel pretty good. I've been spending a lot of time actually dealing with it. Look, this much time. That's how many times I talked about it. That's how many times I captured it in the moment, one-on-one. Bubbled up, caught it, and my body explodes. I don't think it's going to happen again. I say the word, I'm having that moment, and I'm tears bursting from my eyes. It's all over my body. I can feel it in my dream. And the thing that he did was he got down eye-to-eye level. He got to my eye-to-eye level, and his face got really big in front of me, and his eyes got huge. And he said, he's not going to kill you. You're safe. In a very authoritative tone, right? Very clear. And he said it twice. He's not going to kill you. You're safe. And that's it. Broke the spell. And it didn't pop up this time. So the most interesting thing, the best thing, the thing that I want to share, the thing that makes me think there's still hope out there, is people do know the best things to say. And they're the ones that are with the victims each and every day. Anyway, when this person wanted to make sure I was listening, because I would say, you're not looking me in the eyes. I know you're lying to me. And I kept talking back. And maybe that's why I got took away my voice. So I didn't hear anything, and he thought he broke me. No, he didn't. I just couldn't talk. But I could hear you, and that's when he let all the stuff out. He was quizzing me on numbers. Unplugging. Also, I'm just thinking it. I'm not going to say it. And the best part is, the next day I woke up and I felt like I had been just relaxed because it had been exhausted. A hot sauna and an ice cold bath, deep tissue massage. And I just felt totally chill, and my brain connected, and I realized that's it. The feeling of not being loved. That's suicide. And the words he used to call me not lovable. And that I would have to date in order to eat. Excuse me. That's something we talked about in the past. How women had to do that. So you were listening, and all these audio triggers. to create a narrative about women. That's what this is about. So fuck it. I'm just gonna say it. What happened in that dream,
I can barely.
it made me fearless. Fearless. Zero fear. There's none. It's not about no fear. Fear doesn't exist anymore.
Looking me in the eyes, literally getting lower so his eyes were matching my eyes and saying, "He's not gonna kill you, you're safe." And I started crying. It came up instantly. Feeling where it's just all over your body. And I started sobbing and telling him, I'm gonna die. He's gonna kill me. Whoa, sorry, a little bit, just a little bit. He said, no, he's not. He's not gonna kill you. You're safe. And it was loud and it was great because he looked at me in my face. And that's what I do. Come really close to my face and tell me the worstest shit. And this time it does it, this time it changed it. Bubbling up out of me and oh my God, I'm happy. It's not scary anymore.
I think as time goes on, people are gonna, they're gonna start to see,
Easier to get girls and stuff. He buys them. That's why the words, I don't want to pay for sex.
And I thought because we're talking about how, I'm not really into dating because I had a bad experience. I just really focus on work. Plus, when you talk to people in this city, it seems they want to know what you do, what you drive, what your parents do. It just felt like it was, I was getting this response when I tell them what my parents did. He's not talking about this date as we go Dutch on our first date and we talk about...
I remember
and then all he talks about is money and money and money.
Happening.
And I said, and he talks about money and I help him pay his
audio
student
trigger.
loans. And that night
An audio trigger
with his parents.
Really strong. There's no visual.
And you really meant I don't want to pay for sex.
But you hear
not
it all day long.
Go on dates with girls.
You have to title it.
Okay.
Title is
audio now
triggers.
It's a different world, right? I checked in with some of my friends. Yeah, first
you don't
date.
have to do severe.
In my time, it was wait till the third
but
date.
Put a star
and quite frankly,
next to the ones that you think you may want to write with, as you write it.
Presenting new tricks. Even I can learn something new. Whoopsies. That's better. All right, last shot. All right, this is the goal. I want to prevent suicide, but I want to do it safely behind my computer.